I worked the night shifts at an isolated McDonald's drive-thru, and I was given a weird list of rules to follow. During the summer break of my junior year of high school, I worked as a McDonald's employee. I was 17 and pretty naive at the time. I desperately needed money to add to my college fund. My parents did not plan it out so well, so there was a really high chance I wouldn't go to college if I didn't get a job. I was mostly busy during the whole day. I was a day person and wasn't very productive at night. During the day, I was either hanging out with friends, working out, studying, or learning and practicing for coding competitions to add to my portfolio. And usually at night, I wasn't doing anything. The most productive thing at night was just some plain old written homework. Due to the reasons mentioned above, and also the fact that I didn't sleep well at night, I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and take a night shift job. That way I could get paid for doing absolutely zero mental work and also get my homework done on the job. I applied to a ton of different places, but I have to admit, I was a big fan of fast food, so fast food jobs were on the top of my priority list. So when I got a job at a McDonald's, it was a no-brainer for me. The McDonald's was located a bit on the outskirts of town, probably mostly for travelers, but I didn't mind as long as I was getting paid. On my first day of work, I got into my dad's car and drove to the store. It looked pretty dreary from the outside, and the walls even had a little bit of mold on them. But I entered the small building with a smile on my face and was greeted by a middle-aged man standing behind the counter. He greeted me with a smile and a nod of acknowledgement. He immediately took me over to the drive-thru booth, where I would be receiving orders, and explained how everything worked. The ice cream machines, the soft drink dispensers, and the fryers. After he had given me a quick tour of the building, he brought me back to the counter and took a deep breath and said, "Hey kid, do you believe in ghosts and stuff?" "No." "But why do you ask?" I inquired. "I know I'm gonna sound absolutely insane for this, but you'll have to follow some rules while working here. Now, I know all of them sound unbelievable, but trust me, they're as real as it gets. They could even cost you your life if you don't follow them." I looked at him, puzzled. "What are the rules? And has anyone been hurt or something?" I asked. He pulled out his phone. He had multiple photos of teenagers who formerly worked here, but apparently ignored the rules and have gone missing since. "Why haven't you gone to the cops?" I asked him. "Because no one believes me," he said, his voice getting shaky. "They conducted a full search. They just think I'm insane." He almost burst into tears, but then composed himself and begged me to follow the rules and take them seriously. I agreed and said that I would. He handed me the list of rules and thanked me, and then he left. I reluctantly smoothed out the piece of paper and started reading the rules. The title said, "List of Rules to Survive a Night at this McDonald's." Rule 1. Keep the lights on in the drive-thru at all times, with an exception to rule number 5. Rule number 2. There are security cameras next to the counter table. Always check who is in the drive-thru. If the person ordering is in a black Range Rover with tinted windows, do not speak to him. He will stop bothering you if you ignore his angry threats and drive away in just a few minutes. If you speak to him though, he is going to break into the booth and attack you. Only God knows what entity he is, but he can mimic a human voice perfectly. Rule number 3. If someone orders fries, tell them you're all out, because you do not want to open a bag of frozen fries at midnight. Just trust me, the scent will attract unwanted attention. Rule number 4. If you hear your name being called from behind you, stop everything you're doing. Lay down and just close your eyes. You might feel teeth on your limbs or giant talons running against your head, but please do not move. It'll be gone after you hear a demonic giggling. Rule number 5. If you see a 5-year-old girl with no eyes, standing in the driveway looking directly at the camera, immediately lock all the doors and windows, and turn off all of the lights. You might hear screaming, roaring, and screeching from outside, but just hide. And once it's been a full minute since the sounds have stopped, turn the lights back on and continue doing your job. Rule number 6. If you hear people in the main dining area, do not go out there. No one's there. The place is locked. It's just another distraction by the creature lurking nearby who wants to kill everybody. Rule number 7. If the lights go out by themselves, chop off a toe or a finger and place it on the drive-thru counter and duck behind you. You'll hear growls, followed by a quick snatching sound, but get up once the lights are back on and check the counter. If your finger or toe is missing, congratulations, you're gonna live another day. But if it's still there, just pray to God it kills you quickly and doesn't take its time cherishing your screams. Rule 8. It is advised that you never sleep, because then you can miss your name being called, or the 5-year-old girl, or the laughing and talking and sounds of people in the dining areas, which can cost you your life. I was puzzled. If this was a joke, it was a terrible one, I thought to myself, just before noticing movement in one of the bushes in the drive-thru. You know how you think you can be brave and fight through the fear during a fight or flight situation? Well, nope. Your body actually seizes up when facing the fear head-on without any warning. For the first hour of the night, literally nothing paranormal happened. I didn't even get a single customer. This will be easy, I sighed and thought to myself. I started flipping through the cameras every 20 minutes, and then I noticed the little girl peeking through a bush. Her eye sockets were void of eyes. I looked at them, and they seemed voided of any human emotion. They were almost evil in a way. The more I looked at them, the more I just wanted to cry. I was so fixated on the little girl, I almost forgot to switch the lights off. But then I remembered Rule 5. I immediately got under the counter after switching off the lights. I heard something slam against the left wall of the booth, like something big had lashed out and tried to break through the wall. Then I heard quick footsteps, followed by the cries of a little girl. The cries kept on increasing in intensity, to the point where I thought I would actually go deaf. I covered my ears, but could obviously still hear her cries. The cries ceased within 30 seconds, and then I heard a low growl. The growl was followed by the sounds of roaring and the slashing of meat. The sounds were so disgusting that I threw up all over the floor in front of me. After collecting myself mentally, I got up and turned the lights back on. As I was cleaning up the puke, I contemplated, what had I just gotten myself into? Before I could even finish my thoughts, I started to hear people talking. The noise was distant, and I couldn't make out any words, just laughs, giggles, and overlapping voices. The night was eerily silent, so I could hear every little thing that went bump in the night. I was just about to go check it out when I remembered the rule. I reread the list and found it. It was rule number 6. I had to just ignore it and it'd go away. So I did. I put on my earphones and started with some schoolwork. After 1 hour, nothing happened. But then, finally a customer came through the drive-thru. I served them and was happy that they were actually real people starting to come now. Then, I saw another car pulling up. I was really happy now. I wasn't alone in this hellhole any longer. My good mood was immediately put off when I saw it was a black Range Rover with tinted windows. I didn't speak to the angry man on the other side. He just screamed his order and then said, "I know you're in there. Are you deaf? Stupid bitch." I didn't reply and just kept my cool. 10 minutes later, they finally left. My shift just finally ended, and now I'm sitting here typing this, contemplating if this job is really worth the $100 a day. I wanted to quit, but the guy begged me not to, and that he would double my pay since I was so good at it. But I don't want to risk my life again. What should I do? I work the night shift at Lowe's, and there are some strange things that happen here. Okay, So about 6 months ago, I started working overnight at Lowe's. Now, I really like this job. I get to listen to my podcasts and audiobooks, and the people I work with are pretty laid back. I work by myself for the most part, and most importantly, I hardly have to deal with customers. While I do enjoy working here, over the past 6 months I've seen some really crazy things. It started off small, and not really that bad. The first thing I saw happen, I originally thought it was just some kind of glitch. See, in the Lowe's I work at, there are 2 bathrooms set up for the employees in the back corners of the store. When I first started working here, I didn't know what they were. They were just rooms with a simple sign on the outside that read, "Employees only." But I quickly found out what they were when I asked a coworker where the restrooms were. Anyways, back on point. In these bathrooms, the light works on a motion sensor. You know those types. Well, as I was walking past, I could see the light come on from under the door. I thought it was a bit weird because there were only 2 other people in the whole store. Confused, I went up and knocked on the door. I was met with no answers, so I just opened it and it was completely empty. Like I said, it wasn't much, so I really didn't think much about it after that. The next thing that happened was small as well. If you've ever been to a Lowe's, you might have noticed some of the more expensive items having a little green thingy attached to them. We call them turtles, and there are alarms. If someone tries to steal something with a turtle on them, once they go through the doors, they start letting out a high-pitched noise which is very hard to ignore. I was stalking some cauldron, listening to the Adam Carolla podcast when I started hearing an alarm go off. It confused me, so I went looking for it. It took a little bit to find, but when I finally found where it was coming from, it was a drill that was sitting on the ground, and not right up front either. It was buried about 4 drills deep and under another display. As I was pulling the drills out to get to the one that had the turtle going off, another one next to me started going off as well. I will tell you that I nearly jumped out of my skin when that second one started going off. I radioed my manager, Mike, and told him about what was happening. He said that it'd be okay. Those things go off all the time. What was weird was at the exact same time Mike told me that both turtles just shut off. I chalked it up to a coincidence and nothing more. Oh, how naive I was. Nothing else seemed to happen for about 2 weeks, and I had put those instances long behind me. I mean, why wouldn't I? Faulty sensor and sensitive turtles sounded likely to me. Was not one that was likely to jump to supernatural explanations. To put it mildly, I wasn't a believer. Sure, I was a longtime fan of supernatural and loved shows like Ghost Hunters, but I had never experienced anything like that myself. That was until about a month after starting working at Lowe's. It had started just like any other night. I went in around 7, clocked in, and started unloading the truck. It was about 9:30 by the time we were done, and everyone else had left the store, so it was just us 3 of the night crew left. For the most part, it was a pretty normal night. I was listening to a newly downloaded audiobook by Mark Tufo and working on my 3rd cart by this time. It was close to about 2 a.m. and I was finally working my way down towards electrical to restock some fuses when I saw it. At first, I just kind of stood there for more than a minute or 2 trying to make heads or tails on what I was seeing. Because a little bit over halfway down the aisle, there was an arm sticking out from under the shelving racks. It kept moving around as if someone was reaching under their couch to look for the lost remote. Once I got at least some of my wits back, I called Mike. "Mike," I said. "Yeah, what's up?" Mike called back. Mike, I got an arm," I tried to say. "Oh, that thing?" Mike said, surprisingly unsurprised. "Yeah, don't worry about it. Just don't get too close. It tends to get a bit grabby. It's fast, and its reach is further than it looks, so just stay away from that aisle for now." I was flabbergasted at how lightly Mike was taking this. I said, not really knowing what else to say. "What aisle is it in, by the way?" Mike asked. Aisle 13. Okay, just steer clear of it for now. I'll explain more later on. What I've come to understand is that no one really knows anything about the arm. It just shows up, tries to grab things and pull them under the shelving, and that's about it. I've seen it about 7 times now. Never in the same aisle either, and it never shows up at the same time. The only thing that seems to be constant about it is that it goes back under the shelving just before 4 a.m. One time when I saw it, I chucked a can of spray paint at it. The moment that the can hit the aisle floor, the arm shot out and snatched it, and just sucked it back under the shelving. And when I say it shot out, I mean it shot out. It must have reached 3 times the length of a normal arm, and went back under the shelving in less than a second. After I saw that, I followed Mike's suggestion and just avoided those aisles that it was in until it went back under the shelf for the night. I don't even know if this job's worth it anymore. I want to quit, but Mike told me that in the past people have quit because of the arm, and after, they've just disappeared, with their family calling the store asking if we've seen them. I just don't know what to do.